33 Bound came with the treatment, and their suggestion was to shoot it all in Jamaica. As soon as I heard Jamaica, I said, "Yeah, boom." Yeah. One day.
Gassed. Put the gel off away, mate. Mine's here, fam. I've even put mine to the side, cuz.
I'm starting large. What are you saying, Jords?
I've even parked mine off. I'm ready to wax it off after.
Well, let me go on white pan. I've got the hella oil, fam.
No, fam, he's going to clean the oil from his mouth, fam. You know when the gel off is just touching you different. Alright, yes, we've got George in the building. George, what are you telling me? You good?
As good as can be, my bro.
So, for those that don't know George, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, man. My name is Jords. My name is Jordan, but musically I'm known as Jords. Songwriter, producer, rapper, singer.
All of the
from Croydon. You get me? That's artist. I'm gonna say artist now.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than just music.
Fam, like there's so many rappers, artists coming out from Croydon. Obviously, Croydon is just a breeding ground for musical talent. But you're very much in your own lane sonically. Like you don't sound like other rappers that come from Croydon. Did you ever feel pressure to like change your sound to be more like the other rappers from Croydon to try and blow, or was it always just like a comfortability in knowing that you're?
I've a lot of the man from Croydon. Like it's not the biggest place. So if you make music, you probably know most of the man that make music. Like a lot of the man that make music from Croydon, I've grown up with them. You used to just see them going clubbing or just on road. You get me? So, and I've always been the guy that's been making music, but it's always been a little bit different a little bit over there, and I've never been afraid of that. So I've never really felt pressure to conform, let's say, or to be like anyone else. I've always just been on my own thing, to be honest.
So like, were you always comfortable in your own thing? Like, was there ever a time in your career or like in the early stages where you thought, because everyone else that's blowing from Croydon is making this type of music, let me see if I can...
You have your doubts, don't get twisted. But obviously, and at the same time, like, I'm a fan of all that stuff. So if I want to make it, then I'll make it happily.
Yeah.
But like, it's got to be, I don't know, it's got to have that little Jords spin on it. It can't be...
Yeah, I feel you. Like, it's still got to be you.
Yeah, because even like, for example, like a song like, I don't know if you might have heard Pattern,
Pattern, with Dotty, Cold track, I love that track still.
That's a bit like, it's a bit more in that...
Of course, in that, like in that world.
It's still
you.
Me. As long as I'm unapologetically me, I'll make whatever I want. That could be literally whatever I want.
So the album, called it Almost an Adult.
Yeah.
And the album kind of sounds like a coming of age somewhat, like especially in terms of the themes that you address in the album. Was that your intention? Like, what does the project mean to you? Was it meant to come across like it, like the title would suggest?
I was never really thinking about how it would be taken in. I never thought about how it would be received. I never thought, I want this to look like this. I just kind of, I was growing up. I was going through life. I was going through things, and I was documenting that in music. I was just venting my thoughts and feelings and experiences in music, and you know, it's like you feel like you're growing, like you're 25, you're 24, 26, whatever. But you're not grown. Like you're not like you get me. So so for me, that sums it up. Just like being almost an adult, I feel like that year, because I made it in 2018. In that year of 2018, I grew up more than anything, and I feel like that was So I feel like putting that into a project, it just made sense, because after that, I feel a lot more like a man now after going through what I've been through. You get me?
So obviously, this was your first major label release.
Did
you feel any pressure with it being your first major label release?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I'm not gonna be the cool guy that I never feel pressure and Like I felt bare pressure, because like not necessarily because I feel like it had to do a certain amount of things with like numbers. Impact or whatever. It's just, that's for me, this is like the dream. Like everything about this project that's come out has been exactly the way I wanted it. This is the perfect thing for me. This is the most me that it could be. If it doesn't like get received, do you know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, they don't accept me for me, and then that's a whole different complex. So yeah, it was it was a lot of pressure, but pressure makes diamond.
I like that. Real rap. Even
just to stay on the topic of the album, what really popped for me was a short film that accompanied the body of work. Like, that was sick.
Thank
like
you.
it was like nearly 8 minutes of just
visual greatness.
It was like seamless. It was like, I can tell there was a lot of planning, because obviously there's locations in Jamaica and Croydon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, obviously there must have been months of planning and direction and whatnot, and like everything had to be on point. But what stood out in the film for me was the portrayal of like black love and black excellence.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So like, in saying that, how was the recent events with George Floyd, people speaking up on, you know, black lives, and, you know, the systemic prejudice that we've suffered in over the hundreds of years? Like, how has that made you feel?
That's a good question, bro. You know what's mad about all that? Yeah, I feel like all of us being black people from ends, like all these conversations that I'm seeing white people having now. I'll be real. Like, I had these conversations when I was 13, when I was 12. You get me? With the man, them like, oh, why is police stopping me? Why police stopping me? I ain't done nothing. Or why is the teacher acting like this to me and like this to Billy? You get me? So like, or whoever. Like, so even now, I'm seeing a big surge of like support from people outside of our race. I'm still a bit like
skeptical.
Why now? You know what I mean? Like, what is it only because you had nothing? Literally had, because you're on lockdown and you got nothing better to do.
That's a real question.
This is the next trend. You get me? So for me, I was like, I've always been, like you said, the film portrayed black excellence and black love, and that's before any of this happened. I've always been
about that.
You get me? So like nothing's changed for me. I'm still pushing for the same stuff that I was pushing from before. I'm a bit of a trend to be.
It's mad because we were having a conversation before you joined us here, and it's a very good point. Like, I wonder how everyone else's perception of this journey and this struggle is going to be once lockdown is lifted and once things return back to normal. Because it's very easy, of course, to ask yourself these questions when you've got nothing better to do because you're at home on lockdown. You feel me? Right. But yeah, man, that will be very interesting. It's very interesting that you made that point. Still, I didn't even think about it like that.
For me now, it's like it's time for the white people to have that conversation that we were having 10 years ago. It's time for us to start building our own communities, circulating our own money. Real rap. Because we've been angry for a long time. We haven't been active for a long time, and I'll be real. You know what? I want.
No, but I feel you. Ask the people to mobilize still.
Yeah, man. Like, we just have to build, brother. And all them conversations and that stuff, you have that over there. Do our thing over here and build.
Trust me, it's all about us starting to work smartly and invest smartly and just all about group economics, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
Even I was doing some research on like the Chinese community in America, and the money in the Chinese community goes around 30 times before it leaves. So that means
30.
They're paying each other for things, and apparently, if a lot of immigrants, people that emigrated to America from China, as soon as they reach there, the community sets up a little package, so they give them like $2,500 apparently, or something like that.
Bro.
And as soon as you're there, you're nice. You get me?
It's what we need.
Yeah. You got a little something to get started, basically, innit?
Exactly. We need to start doing that for ourselves, because it's not us. We've been divided. The way we've been patterned, we've been getting divided for years and years and years. And I think now we're starting to unlearn those things. So fam, I could talk about this all day. You get me?
Fam, real rap.
We've been politicking in the group chat for weeks. Even before this, we've been talking about this issue from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Bro.
Fam, obviously, it's a lifelong thing for us.
Exactly. If I tell you the interactions that man's had with police from when I was like 13,
fam, first time I got stuck on search, I was 9, fam.
Bruv, same.
I was 9 with my sister, fam. Going church.
I'll tell you about one time. I was on my way home from school. It's like a 10-minute walk home from school. But my parents moved out of like the hood, and we're in a bit of a nice area. I was quite most of the people in my area are white. And I got stopped 4 times on the way home in the space of about 20 minutes. I swear to God, because and the reason why I was stopped was because there was someone who looked like me who escaped from prison, but my hair, I had a number two fade. The person who escaped from prison had an afro. How does that make sense, bro? Make it make sense. Man, we could do this all day.
Fam, all day. I'm sure, like, between the four of us, we got stories upon stories.
100.
My own brother got stopped on his own road, and they said they stopped him because they thought he was a terrorist.
Oh my days, bro.
On his own road.
Oh, that's tapped. I can't even go home.
Fam.
I can't even go home. It's deep. You know? It's actually deep.
It's a deeper. But yeah, man, like you said, Black Man shall never fall again. IJN, just more elevation. We need to just mobilize, and like we just need to work on the solutions between us.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Because
for me, like we're all about love. That's and we're all about excellence. That's why for me, like that's what stood out in the video, which even made me lead to the question of like, because I could like from the conversations, that brief conversation that we've had so far, like I can tell that you've read into this, like you've spent hours politicking with the man, them searching and whatnot, just like me and Moshav and Tyra have. You see what I'm saying? So was it your idea to, in terms of like the short film and in terms of like the direction and whatnot? Was it your concept?
It was a joint effort. It was a joint effort with the directors. 33 Bound.
They're so cold, by the way. 33 Bound are so cold.
They're amazing.
Oh my
We're working on something else at the moment.
Okay.
They're hard, bro. They're
so
very,
hard.
very hard. And they've always been about black excellence and showing beauty of being black. Do you get me? So they're sick. And I've always wanted to do a short film. I don't know if Mosh, you probably know, when I released Means to an Ends.
Yeah.
In 2016, I wanted to. I actually wrote a film, like I proper wrote a film.
Oh, raw.
And just, budget. I just realized films are not cheap. You can't shoot a film on a basic little Canon thing. You've got to looking like a hood video. But so I've always had it in mind to make a film.
Yeah.
And I was just going back and forth with the label when we signed about how to put across this body of work in the best way, because there's so many different sounds, and if we lead with pattern, then people are going to expect it all to sound like pattern, for example.
Yeah.
It's not pattern. There's so much more than that. And then they suggested the film. I was a bit shook to say film because I didn't think they'd go for it. But then they were like, yeah, let's do a film. And I said, yeah, cool. 33 Bound came with the treatment, and their suggestion was to shoot it all in Jamaica. As soon as I heard Jamaica, I said, yeah, boom. Yeah. But the one thing I wanted was it to be like, I wanted to show the juxtaposition between Jamaica and Croydon in it as well. Man's from, that's where I'm from. I'm Jamaican, but I'm from Croydon. So yeah, so it was a group collaboration, but they are wizards, man, absolute wizards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was taking it in again because obviously when it dropped, I saw it, but I was taking it in again this afternoon. I was like, yeah, this is the way this has been shot. Not just what's being told and the plot and what you can see, and like there's so many layers to like the storyline, but it's the direction and the quality of the film itself is just cold.
Thank you, man. No, that means a lot because like a lot went into it. Honestly, like it's
fam, you can tell.
Like, yeah.
It's not your one of the mill video or short film. Like it's actually, fam, it's deeper than that. You can actually tell it. It comes with the content.
Kind of established who I am amongst the scene. You get me? I'm that guy. Like, I'd say I'm like the guy that is creative and different with everything and kind of innovative and rare. So yeah, man, it means a lot that you guys like it. 100%.
Just quickly, you talked about shooting in Jamaica. How was that? Like obviously, I don't know if you've been there before.
Yeah.
Go there often, but how was just that whole experience? Because I'm Jamaican myself, and just looking at that made me want to go back. So,
yeah. Which part of Jamaica are you from?
Mo Bay.
Swear down. Yeah, I'm Mo Bay. I'm Mo Bay as well. But we shot in Kingston. How was it like to shoot over there? It was. You know when you go to Jamaica and you're British.
Yeah, you're not
Jamaican. Like, you don't feel Jamaican. But when I shot that was the most Jamaican I've ever felt. Sorry, because we were shooting. A lot of the cast were locals. A lot of the crew were locals as well, and it was just a real man. Like I couldn't go over there with just bare foreign man and just everyone there was black as well. You get me?
Yes, Jords, I thought you're about this. You're about this.
All the casting crew was black. Like we just had to, and I think honestly, it was like I felt more connected to my roots than I'd ever felt before. It was mad because like even there's loads of things I haven't said about when we're shooting the film. So the scene on the beach, the Halo scene, was on Bob Marley Beach. So Bob Marley used to jog on that beach every single morning, and I felt very, very spiritually connected to everything, and everyone in the crew understood that as well. And it was like, it was just it was just one of the best experiences for me, honestly. But it was intense, like because we're there for 7 days, and we're shooting all day every day, so I didn't get to see like family or like that. But it was
it was still
it was perfect, man, honestly.
So in terms of, obviously you've been to Jamaica, you've shot there, you filmed there, but as a Jamaican, you say, obviously, how was that experience? What's that like in London? Obviously, you've highlighted the parallels and the juxtapositions between Jamaica and London, but how was it growing up as a Jamaican in London, or however you identify yourself, I guess?
You know what? Yeah, for me, I managed to like, I've got a very strong family unit. And we're from a time, I don't know about you guys, but I remember in primary school, certain men were African, but they were Jamaican. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that was me still.
It was the cool thing. It was the cool thing.
Yeah,
no, because you were getting too much heat. Like, niggas were like, what? You African, mate?
It was mad. It was the cool thing. Like, fam, like you had the slang, you had the string vests.
Yeah, it was all cool.
You had everything was just on. Fam, you had the bandanas. Everything was just fam. Jamaican spoke like popping off. I wanted that.
Fam, man had like Wayne Wonder, Sean Paul. Are you sick, fam?
Kevin Little. Don't forget Kevin Little.
Yeah,
Kevin Little.
The culture was lit,
mate.
Like it was joint still. Like I think for me growing up as a Jamaican, I just felt very comfortable being Jamaican. I was very proud to be Jamaican. I was always repping. Like, and then I remember going to secondary school and meeting a lot more Africans.
Yeah.
But I loved the African culture, man. I don't get it twisted. Like we went back and forth on things like the planting.
Yeah, of course.
Afro beats versus
the standard stuff.
All them things there. But at the same time, like it was all love. Like we embraced everything.
Yeah.
And then obviously, but we all know like there's vibes over WizKid. Like, come on, man. Like, let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest.
No,
like,
I gotta give it to Royal Bars from a private cap. I gotta give it to Royal Bars.
Royal Bars has got man. He's got a legacy, but I want to enjoy both because comparison is a deep in it.
Exactly. But like, all that comparison and pitching people against each other, that ain't from us, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, for me, growing up as a Jamaican in London was just a really comfortable experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
The only uncomfortableness was from
them, man.
That other side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just going back to, shooting the film and like just taking the time of it, connecting with the roots, the spiritual energy, it does in terms of the actual content. I've seen that like a lot of it sits within your own channels. Is that something that you like? Is ownership a big thing for you?
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to own what you do. You have to own who you are, and you got to build what you own. So, like, with that being said, like, don't get it twisted. All like, for example, all the other platforms that provide exposure and stuff, like that's very valuable in this scene. It helps build the scene. So, like, I've had like Glad, for example, the video came out on GRM Daily, and they've been very supportive from the jump. But at the same time, now I'm ready to own what I do, and now I feel more like myself than ever. It makes more sense for it to be on my own stuff, so I can own it. You get me? And it seems to be working. Like I used to have a fear of like, if I put it on my own channel, I'm not going to get as many views as if it was on blah blah blah. But the film's got more views than any video that I've ever done on a channel. You get me? So, yeah. I think it's blind faith that's helped with that, I guess.
Yeah, for me, it's like you can see the clarity and the long-term goal, because it's not about the short-term gains. It's about the long-termism, like Sir Alex Ferguson famously put.
Come on.
But like, no, Arsenal.
Allow it.
I just respect greatness. Do you know what I'm saying? I just respect the greatness.
Yeah, you talked yourself out of a hole there.
But it's sick how ownership is a big thing for you, because this all stems back to the conversation we were having just now about, building our own communities for Black people, structures and systems. Like, a lot of the things that we've done in our culture, that we've sold it. We just sold it to the other side.
100.
You know what I'm saying? We just sold it to them. They've been using it. You know, people have, even in music, they're masters. Some people don't even have control of their masters and stuff. They can't even eat off royalties. So for me, it's sick to hear that. Sick to hear you say that. My next question would be like, this is the last one, is like, I feel like there's a lot of sort of expression on this album, a lot of emotion, and a big emotion that stood out for me was grief. Just how have you dealt with it as a young black man as well, and dealing with it from a teen to a young adult?
Do you know what? I've always lived around grief, if that makes sense. So like, you know, it's like you lose friends, you lose people. Like I was very close to like Cadet, for example. That's my guy. So losing him was a big thing. But at the same time, like, I don't know, there's something different when you lose your grandma or you lose your grandparents. You get me? It just hits different. So as much as I may have lost brethren and like losing your grandparents, it's like that. Then you see, that's when for me that's the when you become a man, because you have to witness your parents go through that. And you have to be the person to take care of your parents, and that's how I felt anyway. I felt like that was a pressure that I applied to myself. That I thought, you know what, let me not even process this right now, because I got to make sure my mum's good, or I got to make sure my dad's good, and rare. And then afterwards became that whole grieving process, and it hit me hard. And still now, I'm still like, raw. Like when the film came out, I couldn't watch it at first because I thought, man, I don't know. I'm still like, still getting used to
too
it.
much.
Yeah, it was too much.
Tears and that.
Exactly. I can't listen to Halos. Honestly, I can't listen to Halos. I can't listen to Mrs. Chambers' Kitchen. I ain't listened to those since the albums dropped, because I don't know. I've just I haven't listened to them since the albums dropped, because I feel like I put all of me in that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. You know what's mad? So I hadn't fully heard the last album, but then when I listened to Mrs. Chambers' Kitchen 2, when it dropped, and then I went back to the first one, I said, this is crazy, because I saw Mrs. Chambers' Kitchen 2, I said, okay, cool. And I looked at the one, I was like, this is obviously a tribute to your grandmother at the start. So I'm saying, and then I went back to the first and second, I was like, it makes sense that this is such an impactful tune in terms of number 1 and 2, because you can tell it means, like, she means a lot to you. You see what I'm saying? And that was the way that was translated into both tracks. I was like, that was an amazing 2 tracks for me personally.
Appreciate it, man. I take a lot of peace in the fact that I've immortalized that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I've immortalized her through that. So that's helped me grieve a lot better. It's given me a lot more comfort, because I know even like the people around me, for example, like my family, they can listen to that and they can hear my grandma, or they can see my granddad, or they can, you know what I mean? That gives me a lot of like comfort. There's a lot of comfort in that for me. So that's helped a lot.
I wanted to chip into comfort, but my Wi-Fi is moving very mad. That's why I'm very hesitant. But I was just hearing conversations about Mr. Chambers' Kitchen, bruv. Both 1 and 2, but especially like 1 still might be my favorite song of yours. Still, like the first.
I remember you hit me up about 1. I remember
2. Yeah. Like clean. I love it. I love it still.
That might be my favorite song of my own, to be honest. I feel like that's the best song I've written, is part 1, because I don't know. I just like
I'm exquisite. Everything about that tune is just correct. I love that song.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Man, I appreciate you joining us. And I wish you nothing but continued success, man. Keep making real music, obviously, especially the major labels. Not to even talk too much or talk down on anyone, but there's a lot of fast food music, especially being put out by majors. So it's very good to see an artist that takes the artistry proper seriously, like as seriously as you do, get signed and then put out real music and not try and like deviate from your mission. Do you feel me? And that like the music is still quality. There's still thought behind the visuals and everything. Do you know what I mean? So I appreciate that as a consumer. So man, just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure you'll have more wins, more successes.
100. We got a big win coming up soon. There's a big, I would say there's an important record that's coming out soon. The next one is very, very important. That's all I'm going to say. Very important. Very relevant as well. You get me, and it's real. But appreciate you guys, because you Syndicate, you guys have been supporting from means to an ends day, isn't it? So like, you get me.
Yep.
That's a lot still.